Oh boy, I fell asleep at the wheel there for a second. How's everyone doing? My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Wednesday night live portrait class. And we're kind of doing things a little bit different tonight. We're really not drawing a portrait per se, but with it being so close to Valentine's Day next week, we might have to do another one that has a love theme to it. But I've had this picture on my desktop sitting there for a while, and I thought today would be a great opportunity for us to give it a shot. Okay, so I'm going to help you do it. We'll go step by step. It'll be good in just looking at figures and looking at how to construct it a little bit. So we'll take a look at that. The one thing I want to point out to you before we get started is that background. We're going to draw that background, but look how dark that background is compared to the light that's coming in through the windows. We want to make sure that we actually lighten that up quite a bit to create atmospheric perspective. Then we'll put all the heavy darks into our figures, and I'll help you do that. This is going to create even further depth. So if there's one thing out of tonight that you could walk away from, is just know that if you want objects to look like they're far in the distance, draw them lighter, less contrast and lighter, and that will project them further in the distance. Okay? All right. What are we doing now? All right. Anything else? Since this is a what I need you all to do, please, is to make sure you like the video tonight. It is important. And please comment of your favorite painting or artist that you think of in the terms of Valentine's. And I'll have one, I'm going to show you one right here. This might be a fun little project you might do on your own. I found this in my sketchbook. This is from Klimt. What was his first name? Gustav Klimt, The Kiss. And this was done just with felt tip marker. Just a quick little contour, trying to get the shape, and it turned out quite nice. I did this a while ago, but if you're looking for a fun little project, there's something you can put into your Valentine's. In fact, maybe we should draw that painting next week. That would be kind of fun. We'll play it by ear. But anyways, so in the comments, just comment of your favorite something that reminds you of love, a painting or something like that. All right, let's get started. I am live, so if you have any questions, just throw it out there, and I'll check up and take a look at that. But let's get rolling here. So, okay, I'm going to start, and let me kind of get a measurement here of this picture, and I like to use my drawing instrument of choice is a Crayola pencil. It's not so much because the color per se, it has a waxiness to it, so it doesn't really smear. It doesn't smear when I run my finger through it. Now because of the wax, the downside is you can't erase it, so that can be a little problematic. I'm going to adjust this light here. Okay. And I'm going to turn this up here a little bit more. There it is. Okay, so we've got our framework here. What's the size of this? Just in case if someone asks. I'm at like 4.5 by 6. 4 by 6. Okay, 4 by 6 is what I got. So let's go ahead and I'm holding my pencil back here like this. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark kind of like the center of my page. There's dead center. And if I look at that picture there, I'm just gonna do a gesture, and all I'm trying to do is establish where these people are at on this page there. All right, so we'll just kind of come down here, and I'm really just kind of imagining what's the overall shape? What's the overall shape of this couple here? And let's do this. Let's work on them first, and spend most of our time on them, and then if we have time for the background, we'll do that second. If we don't have time, then I'll coach you of what you need to do for that. Okay, so we kind of got our picture here, and don't make this. You don't have to worry about it being perfectly accurate. All right, so right here where my pencil is, this is where they are coming together. Right? It's like the letter V. You see the V, so that's going to be kind of my anchor point. That's my first landmark. And a lot of times we use landmarks to try and judge distances. So from there, I'm going to go to his shoulder or his arm right here, and I'm going to think of a cube. I mean of a cylinder. And if you know what I mean, a cylinder, this is the way it's going to be. We're going to the cylinder is going to come down. And I want you to think of a cylinder when we do this, okay? So all right, so right here is that V, and then I'm going to come down just a little bit, and this is it's like if I say like his head is from here to here, look at that measurement of right where that shoulder starts. It's almost like right in the center. So I'm gonna come here, and then this is the angle that arm is taking, or at least that's the angle I'm going to make mine take. So first thing I'm going to all right, there's my cylinder. And then right here at the shoulder, you could see that this is going to go down. This is going to go down his back, just like that. Now this right here, there is her nose. Let's see, it's going to be right about in here. And we have to remember she's really leaning forward. So if I go here and then I come about down here, you see, this is about the inside of her shoulder here. And all I'm doing right now is trying to put shapes in, get the right proportion. So here's her arm. Look at that. Her sleeve is coming down here, right? And then how big that is, such a big, she's wearing that heavy coat here. So let's see. This right here is to the outside of her. Here's her hat. So this is going to be to the outside of that. So I'm just kind of roughly putting in these different landmarks so I could start breaking this thing down. Okay, now where is her sleeve down here that touches her hand? If I draw a vertical line going right up, okay, so let's see. That's going to be right. Look at that. That wrist almost lines up right with where her nose. That wrist lines up almost right where the V is. So we'll come all the way down here. Make this a taper here. Nice taper. And then this is something beautiful is happening here. Look at that. The back, let's see, can you see? It's the back of her hand, and then it goes right into her fingers. You see that? You see that corner that's created right at the knuckles there? Oh, that's so nice. So we're come up here like this, and then come across just like that. And then we'll just continue this right in here like this. All right, we got a nice shape there. So just come right up here, but get that. See, I just created that by doing the overall shape and then making that edge there. And you can come in here very lightly right now. So we have immediately a sense of volume there. Okay, let's get this guy's bag in here. So let's see here. That corner of that bag is right about there, and it comes right out like this. Let's get the overall shape. And then it like comes down here and then goes right outside our picture. Okay. Let's come back up to our guy up here. So it's coming down to his shoulder here. And then you could see the other part of his shoulder. It's like right down here. Where does this line up? Okay, this is like almost, it's almost like right about there. So we're gonna bring that down just like that. And then this strap, let's get that. The strap is important. Now that strap is almost vertical. There's a slight angle to it. So let's get that strap in here. Because then on this side, we have his elbow. You see that? Okay, this other strap, well, let's put that one in as well. Has a slight S curve to it. It's actually further out than that, so we'll just go like this. And it disappears into him. All right, I'm going to get this. It's probably too deep like that. Oh, see, my proportion is off just a little bit on this bag, but that's okay, because we could get away with the bag not being in total proportion. So all I'm doing right now is just putting in these shapes. And I'm going to go ahead and drop a tone over this whole entire case here. Now I'll tell you why I just did that. Because I got to make sure that her white knuckle is brighter than this over here. So we got that nailed down. All right. Okay, so let's jump right onto the heavy part of the drawing. And let's talk about their heads here. So her head is straight up and down, but his is going back in space. So let me show you what we're going to do first. Let's just say this is his shoulder. Okay? And if I come up here and I go, this is one edge of his head, and then that's the outside, okay? Now if I look carefully now, I'm not going to draw a circle because it's too hard to get that proportion right, but like I got the outside edges first, and then there's the back of his head, and here's kind of the forward, and then his ear. Now this is important. Ear is key for us to be able to see where he's looking. So we're going to do this, and then something like that. Do you see? And then we can come down here. I'm just showing you right now, so you kind of get an idea of what's going to happen here. All right? And then her head is going to come smack dab right in here like this. And her nose, look, her nose is buried like this. All right, so let's do this. All right, so first with the head. Head's going off in this direction. There he is there. If you haven't, make sure you take a minute and like the video. You guys can do it. All right, so there is his head right there. Okay, so let's kind of position her. Let's get her head in here. All right, she's overlapping his head like this, and then we're coming here like this. And then she has this now. This is going to be her brow line. Her brow line, where's her brow? Her brow line is lining up just like this. You see that? And then his eyes, look at that, his eyes are lining right up. And we're going to put a tone in there just like that. I know it looks weird right now, but all right, let's come in here now and get her right along her eyes there, and then it goes to her cheek, and then her nose. I'll hold this up a little bit so you can see what I just did. If you need to screenshot that, do that. Let's talk about her before we get into her eyelid now. What we've just done is like this is her front of her face. This is her cheek like this. And then her nose is coming out like this. And if you have to practice this a couple times, do it. Because then her eyes are like this, and then we make sure we really hit up those eyelashes there. Okay? So we got this, so then we're going to really punch that in dark. I'll hold this up to the camera here. She doesn't look like a woman yet because we haven't got all the curls and all that stuff, but we'll get there. All right, there's my guy. Okay, let's get his ear in now. Now, this let's get his hairline in, and let's really check the negative shape of his what we see here. So like this, and it's going to go around his ear here. All right, now his ears. I'm dropping in this shadow here of his ear. I don't know why those balloons just popped up. That was very weird. Oh boy. All right, so now we're gonna come back here. Let's get her hairline in. And then her ears right there. Look at that. Just look for the shape. Sometimes I'll look for the shape, and then I'll just kind of looking for the shape of the shadow. Now I need to add a lot more overlap. Thank you, John. John's got my like. I've got to add. I'm going to add more to her hair back here because look at the distance from the back of her ear to her nose. I mean, that distance should be way. Her hair should come way out here. And I'm purposely darkening in the back end of his hair and leaving this a little bit lighter over there. All right, let's get this hat she's wearing in very carefully first. Outline that hat first. It's almost like one of those pillboxes, a pillbox hat, but I don't think that's the correct term for it. And it's hard to tell from this picture exactly if it's a ribbon on top or what, but that's okay. One thing we do know is it's super black, so we want to make sure we are going to really get that. We're going to get that really in looking black there. Now she has some awesome looking curls in her hair. So before we start putting the curls, let's get the right value first. So I'm going to come in here and start with a medium value for all of her hair. And then her curls. So I'm going to just start taking my pencil and making these curves, little U shapes. Little U shapes there. And then her hair is pulled back like this. All right. Now this hat, I want to go super black. I want this to be really black. Almost, if I look at this picture, should be the blackest part of the entire drawing. That's what we're going to make it. Because this is going to create that beautiful contrast between this and her face, which will lead us right into that kiss. And I'm just leaving some of those little dots there. Okay. Make a peace sign with your fingers, index in the middle. Like this? I don't know. What is that? Is that what causes the balloons? I don't know. Index and middle finger extend, index and middle, and others folded down toward the camera. Really? Who knew? Who knew? You learn something new every day. That's crazy. I did not know that. All right, carrying on now. All right, let's get these folds. Let's get these folds now. So I think I got my head here pretty good. In fact, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly, very lightly, with a little bit of tone, I'm going to go ahead and tone my guy in, his skin here, because I really want the emphasis to drive us right to her. That's what I want. Okay, let's look at this now. Let's start with his arm because there's some really interesting folds here. And if we could get this right, wow, this is the folds in this arm are really going to sell this for us. So first thing I want you to do lightly is I want you to kind of put a line where you think that seam is going to go, because that's going to be like right down the center of his arm there. And then look the sleeve and do this lightly. And what I want you to do is I want you to think of fabric. I want you to think fabric as you're drawing this. So we'll add a little tone down here. And then let's come in here then and take one of these folds. So we're going to start right here. And there's a fold that goes right up to her, right across here. You see that? And then there's another one that goes right up to the seam there, you see? And then another one that goes right, this is an important one, from his elbow all the way across here. So these are kind of, I'm using these as guides right now. And what I need you to do is really be careful to observe, really observe what you're looking at here, okay? All right, so let's get this first fold in here. So I'm looking really at the shape very carefully here. I'm going with my darks. No matter how it looks, it doesn't matter. What's key is that you're here doing it. So when you do these folds, I want you to think of them as having three values: dark, middle, and light. Okay? And right now we are putting in the area of the dark ones. All right, let's come back in and hit those darks one more time with darker value. Okay, now let's come in with an overall value for the light. Remember, we want to make sure her face is the lightest part of this picture. Okay, so I have dark and then a lighter value there. You see that? Now what I'm going to do in this area here is I'm going to look really careful at the edges. I'm going to try and sharpen up my edges and soften others. And then look at this. This comes down here. You have to really, really slow down and observe carefully. I mean, that's really what we're doing as artists. We are look at this is interesting. As I am squinting looking at the picture, the values in this lower part of the sleeve are darker than the values up here. If you look closely, that would make total sense. So I gotta darken everything below that seam. See, we're just going really slow here, really slow on this. You know, today was a weird day for me. I had a difficult day. I don't want to say it was a bad day. It was just it was a hard day. And there's something about like, you know, us getting together and drawing tonight. I was looking forward to it. I have been looking forward to it because it's this drawing with you guys is always a real treat. And I know that sometimes some of you might find that drawing is a very exhausting, filled with doubt, frustration. Well, you know, that is part of the learning curve. But I'll tell you, it is worth the effort. Okay, it's worth the effort to put in this time to really master this craft. someone had, I can't remember who it was right now off the top of my head, but look at this shape of darkness in this right down here. They had a hard day. I don't want to say their name because I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, drawing is just one of those things that you just have got to keep going. And look at this is coming up here like this. It just takes perseverance. Talent is not that valued. Talent is a silly idea. I think it's a really silly notion. Look, their knuckles are like small little circles right here. Boom, boom, boom. And then these are gonna have a darker value here. Because right in here, her sleeve is coming here. You see that? And then for her fingers, just do light. Look, very lightly. Just put them in like this. Because right here, look at this. Right there, look at the picture. There's this there's black, and this is the turning over of that bag flap there. Going super, super slow. I think you all deserve a balloons. Look at that. Bam. My goodness. I can't believe that. You guys get a balloons tonight. All right, look at it. Same thing up here. I'm going to do down here in her in her jacket here, and notice these they overlap each other, as John had said earlier, which is it's like an S curve, and then there's another one right here that's an S curve, and then there's another one back here. And then down, now this is where I want you to be very careful. I want you to draw these sleeves very carefully. Look, I want you to think of these things as rings going around. You see it, rings going around. There's another one right there. All right, let me hold that up so you can see what I just did. And then right here, look at this. This is her coat. It's gonna come down just like that. And then when you go to the, like, we could drop some tone in here for her shadow. But look at this sleeve is going to go from dark to light, and then the rest of her coat is behind it. It gets pretty dark here. You see that contrast? So you really want to make sure this edge stays nice and light. All right. We are up on an hour, 52 minutes here. Let me, I want to grab something here. Well, all right. No, don't see what I'm looking for. Okay, let's leave this as is, and you can. I'm gonna let you kind of fill in the rest down here. I want to talk about this background real quick. I want to get some idea of what's going on back here, because I don't want you to. We're gonna leave everyone else out of the picture, but we're gonna get this background here. So, using his ear as an anchor point, I'm going to come right up here, and there's an arch. You see this arch? It's like coming down like this. I'm going to draw this lightly. And then the perspective starts here, and it's going to kind of come up there. So here we go. We're going to... Okay. And then, and actually it's going to be a little bit higher here. It's going to come in like this. Kind of comes in here. And then behind his head, now look, this, you see that angle where what I'm doing just like that? And from below here, behind her head here, look, this is angling nice curve here. Okay. I'm just kind of starting to break down this background behind him. All right, I'm going to use this line right here. This is my guide. I'm going to kind of stay parallel to that. And then there's that pane. All right, I want to get this background in before I let you go. And so then now there's some verticals, okay? These verticals of this, look, this is coming down. And then when you draw these verticals, make sure they're straight up and down. Keep this light. All right, then we've got some windows over here. So I'm just going to kind of make sure this stays very vertical, straight up and down, like this. And then from here to here, we're going to divide that in half. And then I'll divide this in half. All right, I'm going to keep doing that. Do half so this gets perfectly all right, then on this side, same thing. Make this vertical. Following this line here. going to be a little slightly different from the picture. Okay, let's come down here. I'm going to get this. There's an arch here. And then this is a nice little arch. I'm going to ignore that guy in the distance there, but we're just going to... And then the rest will be filled in. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to fill this in very, very slowly, but make sure that I'm really have an even tone across. Don't go any darker than that right there. Nice even tone. So all your lines end up blending in. All right, now that makes this, like, creates this beautiful, atmospheric perspective by putting those things way in the back there, you see? All right, last thing I want to do before we hang up here, I'm going to draw these edges super sharp, but I want to make sure that they're square before I do that. So let's see here. What can I get that's perfectly square around here? Huh? Oh, there we go. All right, one of our postcards there, right? All right, let's see. Okay, so that looks, I'm going to use that as my square. So I'm going to guide this right up against that. I'm just going to use that as a guide here. I know there's probably a better way to do this, but you know, sometimes as an artist, I'm just not very precise. I'm precise in my drawing, but the way I go about certain things, it just doesn't make complete sense. All right, now I'm using it as like a square here. All right, this is going to turn out quite nice, I think. All right. All right, here we go. I like to push down and pull up. This makes a nice edge there. Look at that. All right, there it is. Didn't quite get to finish that, but I got far enough along with you all that that we'll be able to. I'll finish that up off the air here. All right. But there you go. There's our Valentine's Day sketch. I hope you learned something. Hope I didn't go too fast. Slow it down. Find your landmarks. Look for your shapes. Fill your shapes in. And these things take time. But you will get it. Just persevere, okay? Hey, my name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Thank you so much for watching. Do make sure that you give a thumbs up and comment. Comment your favorite painting or your favorite artist who seems to embody the love. And you could even say, use The Kiss by Klimt if you want. He has some others. There's some great stories out there. All right, go out there, make your day great. Thanks for watching, everyone. Tune in next Wednesday. We will get back to our normal portrait step by step. We'll make it fun. All right, talk to you later. Bye, everyone.